What's good, y'all, man? It is your boy Sniper Kicks, and I've been reselling full time for the past 6 years. And last year, I spent over $1 million selling sneakers. And I know you're asking the question, wow, $1 million buying sneakers is ridiculous. But it's very simple. You need to get sneakers to make money. If you want to make money, you need to buy sneakers. So I'm going to go in this video in detail on why I spent over $1 million buying sneakers and why that's very important if you want to actually scale and execute in your sneaker reselling business. Here's the thing, reselling is very simple. Again, I've been doing it full time, everything I do, no job, for the past 6 years, and I'm going to talk about why I buy so much inventory, why I buy sneakers in bulk. But you just don't have to buy sneakers in bulk. You can utilize different outlets like the Nike outlet, like different stores, like a Marshall, like buying from other resellers like OfferUp and Facebook Marketplace to be able to scale your business. So I'm going to break down why I spend so much money, and you see these right here, the Jordan 508s made me a lot of money, and why you need to buy more sneakers if you're a sneaker reseller to elevate and move forward. Let's get into the video and make sure you stay tuned. I have something special for you guys. Let's go. I know you have the question, why did you spend $1 million buying sneakers in the past year? Very simple. You need sneakers to make money. As you see right here, we have a variety of sneakers. I like to liquidate my sneakers very fast. So I do like a first in, first out type of method where when I buy them, I'm getting them out extremely fast. And I do that with pre-orders. But it's very simple, guys. If you want to make more money, you need to buy more sneakers. And I'm gonna tell you a quick story. So when I started selling sneakers back in, man, it's a while, maybe 2017, when I started to take it, pretty serious, kind of doing my thing. And the Jordan 4 Bread dropped. The Jordan 4 Bread, the OG, they finally dropped. It was in that time frame. I got a pair and I was able to sell them extremely fast. And I made whatever, 120 bucks. But I was limited on how much money I can make because I only got one pair. So that's why you need to buy more sneakers to make more money. However, you got to have systems within your business so you're not buying a bunch of sneakers and you're losing money on each, because it can go two ways. You can buy a bunch of sneakers and profit them with the right systems, or you can buy a bunch of sneakers that are not going to make you profit and you're going to lose a lot of money. So it is a business at the end of the day with reselling. If you don't treat it like a business, if you don't know what you're doing, you will lose money. If you don't know what you're doing, you will lose money. But as you start to understand the fundamentals of the business, like buying more and scaling up, you're just making more money. So you see me buy a ton of the sneakers, every single release, and we'll pull screenshots here. Every release in 2025, I've got the Travis Scotts, the Brick by Bricks, the Lake 5s, the you name it, I got it. The Ferraris, the Jordan 5 Black Metallic, you name it, I got it. And that's why I spend so much money on sneakers, because you got to spend money to make money, point blank period. You got to spend money to make money. But the key thing behind this, yes, I spend a lot of money getting sneakers. However, you need to be able to sell them and liquidate them, and understand just because I'm able to do it doesn't mean you're able to do it right away. I believe anybody can do it. I've helped so many people make six figures with reselling, but they had the systems in place. So if you want to implement those systems, if you want to learn how to get sneakers in bulk, if you want to understand the different metrics you need to be tracking to elevate your business, I have a free live training that is about to go down. Link is in the description section. It is going to be crazy. It is world class with this live trade, so make sure you hit that. But that is why I spent over $1 million buying sneakers in the past year, because again, I got to spend to make, point blank period. Now we're going to talk about selling sneakers like this, because again, I bought over $1 million of sneakers in the past year, but you got to sell them. First things first, very simple, utilize the apps. The StockX, and again, I use StockX as well sometimes to liquidate. Only time I use StockX is to liquidate inventory that I have my hands on for a while. And StockX Flex is a phenomenal platform. Once you get to level 2, you can give your inventory to StockX, and that allows you to make more money because they have it in their hand. The eBays, the GOATs, Alias, which is GOATs, selling side of things. Again, Alias has consignment. You want to use everything. You want to use whatever it may be in your power, the OfferUp and Facebook Marketplace. And again, those two are great because that allows you to build a book of business. I had a previous video on my other channel, Sniper Biz, where I talked about building a book of business. To end up scaling at a fast pace, You want to be able to build clientele. Here's the reason why. I love the GOATs, the StockX, the eBays, but here's the thing. If I'm going to sell a sneaker for $330, they're going to take $60 off of that sale price because they did all the work to acquire that customer. So you could sell a sneaker for $330, but you're really only getting paid $270, $260. So again, that kills your profits. So how do you combat that? You combat that by being able to treat your business like a traditional business. Any business, you need to market and you need to sell. Like you see right here, we have these lined up. We have these lined up right here because we got a bunch of sneakers that we're selling ourselves. And that allows us to keep the profit because when you utilize these apps, it's convenient. However, guys, they're going to take 13%, 15% of your sale because they did all the work. So I see a lot of amateur resellers. They're like, man, I want to buy sneakers, sell them on StockX and make a ton of money. Any big time reseller is not only utilizing those apps to make sales, because if you do, your profit and your profit margin is going to plummet because they're taking, like I said, $60 off the sale price. So that's why it's very critical to treat this like a traditional business. Again, my parents are traditional business owners. All my siblings are traditional business owners. The crazy thing about it, a lot of my siblings made a boatload of money with reselling. Now, my brother owns a nursing agency. My mom and dad owns a nurse agency. And my other brother owns a healthcare agency. So they have to acquire customers and give them services to make money. They got to advertise. So that's the same exact thing you got to do with sneaker reselling if you want to keep that 13% profit that StockX, eBay, and all these places are taking. And like I mentioned, Facebook Marketplace and also OfferUp is great ways to do that because again, you can start to put your stuff there and you make all of the profit. And then you can keep that customer as a long-term customer if you service them well. But also advertise. There's so many ways to advertise, and I'll make a separate video on how to advertise so you can make more money. But again, as you see, I treat this business like a traditional business because it is a traditional business if you actually treat it like it. But if you treat it like a little thing that I can probably make $100 a month with, hey, just do what you would want to do. But I'm talking about from my perspective, how I've been able to do this full time. So again, you got to sell on every platform. You got to be able to start building clientele. That's where you're able to scale your business to the next level. And again, I will go over this, all the things I talked about in detail at my free live training. So make sure you hit the link in the description. I also will pin it in the comments as well, or just go to my profile and you'll see the link right there. Make sure you're registered because it will be a game changer, right there. So guys, we're gonna talk about one more thing, starting to acquire the sneakers and then move forward from there. So to kind of end this video, I'm going to talk about the 3 biggest mistakes that most sneaker resellers are making. Again, the thesis of this video is I spent over $1 million, buying sneakers. And it's very logical. If you want to make more money, you need to spend money. That's with anything. But here's some mistakes that most people make. Number 1 is that they do not reinvest their profits. So for instance, I talked about the story of me buying the Jordan 4 Bread back in the day, was able to make a few $100 with that sneaker. The problem that I made back in the day is that I took that money right there and I started to buy things for myself. Again, that right there is a huge mistake. If you're going to start to scale your company, you are going to have to reinvest your profits. Like you see me with this crazy sneaker collection, so much money. The only reason why I have that big sneaker collection is because I reinvested everything back into the business, and then I just had money where I can buy sneakers for myself. I see a lot of people, they flip them. Again, this is for people that actually want to build a business. If you just want to flip sneakers so you can actually buy your own sneakers, yes, that's cool. But if you actually want to build this business as a business that you can do, let's say full time, you don't even have to do it full time. You can do it part time, but it makes a lot of money for you. You got to reinvest your profits. I see too many people that go ahead and be like, man, I made some money. Let me go and buy something for me. No, you got to reinvest into more inventory. And again, as you reinvest into more inventory, you're spending more money on inventory that will make you more money. So that's one of the biggest things as well. A second thing right here is that too many people buy sneakers that they like. That is a huge mistake. if you're buying sneakers that you like, for instance, a Jordan 3, just because I like a Jordan 3 doesn't mean it's going to make me profits at the end of the day. You got to go based off the analytics. The analytics is demand and it's profit. Is the sneaker demanded and is the sneaker actually profitable? Because yes, you can get a sneaker that is demanded, but if it's not profitable, you're not going to make any money. Or you can get a sneaker that's not demanded, but it's profitable, but it's going to take a lot of time for you to sell it because people don't really want it. So again, those are the things that you got to understand. A third biggest mistake is that you only focus on the hype sneakers, guys. Man, people that only focus on hype, bro, you're selling yourself short, man. There's so many sneakers out there like Hey Dudes, Crocs, stuff like that, guys. If those things right there are able to sell, you will make money. You will make money, guys, but you got to be able to diversify and understand that you need to buy sneakers. You got to buy sneakers that are demanded, and it doesn't have to be hype Jordan 5 Awake collaborations. It doesn't have to be those to actually start making money. So those are some of the biggest mistakes that I see people do with sneaker reselling. But sneaker reselling, man, it's one of the most simplest business models. Like I talked about earlier, my entire family are traditional business owners. So I understand how difficult other businesses are. Like I said, healthcare, nursing agency, restaurants, like those are very difficult to do. And a lot of times, like for instance, restaurants, the profit margins are very slim. But with sneaker reselling, it's so simple. Like if 13 and 14-year-olds are making a ton of money with this business model, it's very simple. You just got to treat it like a traditional business. You just got to put in the effort. You got to understand the analytics. Again, bulk buying, that's something that I specialize in. Again, I talked about I spent over $1 million worth of sneakers, is because a lot of it is very fast. Like somebody traditionally that would try to spend, like say $1 million in inventory would take them a while because they have to go and piece it together. You know, what I do is I do bulk buying. So I buy a lot at once, so it saves me time. It comes to, you know, wherever I need it to come to, and then I'm able to sell them. So it speeds things. There's a phrase that I always say, speed equals profit. So if you want to learn how to implement this bulk buy, again, I went over a lot of information because again, I mastered reselling in my opinion. If you want to learn how to do that, make sure at the free live training. It is going to be ridiculous. And guess what? I'm giving away the Jordan 5 Awake Pink in your size to a lucky winner, but you got to be at the live training. It is going to be outrageous, guys. But again, I wanted to give you guys an overview on why I spend that much money on sneakers is because I want to make money. I have to spend money to make money, and that's kind of the cycle that you have to go along. But if you want to have high success with reselling, you have to treat this like a traditional business. You got to have your metrics and analytics. At the end of the day, what I tell people, start small and then scale. Don't try to be like me on day one. It's not, I've been doing this for close to a decade, full time the past 6 years. So you got to do it step by step by step by step. Understand the analytics, track what you're doing, progress forward. And I hope this video helps. I'm going to be dropping more videos like this where it's more educational, kind of bring you guys through some of the things that I do. Again, you want to maximize all your sales channels. You want to be able to start being able to sell your sneakers yourself because you will make more profit. Again, one of the key metrics that I use is profit margin. And if I can keep that profit margin higher by being able to sell it myself, that changes the game. And then building that book of business so you can kind of create more revenue and profit in your business. Really do appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys at the live training. You already know Sniper Kicks is out. Peace.